I am Professor B.G. Patil from Sankeshwar College, presenting my views on youth as warriors. Friends, most of the times we speak of youth power. Centuries together, people are speaking of youth as power, youth as resource, youth as a national power. But remember, when people speak generally of youth, they say that they are useless and they are careless. But my friends, I'm of the serious opinion that youth are careless and useless. If you care them, if you take care of them, if you take proper care of them, and if you use them in a right way, in a positive way, they are going to be a national resource. We have to remember that. Friends, I'll start with a quote. Youth are the future of a nation. This single statement shows the importance of youth in nation building, in establishing a healthy society. It's very important for us to build a healthy society. We're living in a democratic society. When we are part of a democratic society, we have to develop a healthy, sustainable, peaceful society. That is why we have to accept the statement, youth are the future of a nation, youth are the builder of the nation. Friends, we the students of political science, we speak of national power. When we speak of national power, we speak of geography as a national power, natural resources as a national power. Then we speak of other things as science and technology, ideology, moral, leadership. But now we have to speak of youth as national power. It is the greatest resource we are having today. Remember, youth are the agents and driving force of change. Whatever change that has to take in society, it should begin with the youth. If they decide, Manasiddhare Marga, if they decide, they can bring any change in the social system, political system, economic system. That is why generally we say that socio-economic, political, and cultural transformation in a system. See, socio-economic, political, and cultural transformation in a system is possible by youth alone, in the sense only youth can bring the changes. Then who are youth? Because we have a political tendency of calling a man who is above 60 as a youth icon. A man who has crossed 45, we are calling him youth icon. But according to United Nations, people between the age of 15 and 24 are youth. We have to concentrate on that. People between the age group of 15 and 24 are said to be youth. Social cohesion, economic prosperity, and political stability of a state. See, social cohesion, that is social stability, togetherness, belongingness, whatever term you use there. Social cohesion, economic prosperity, and political stability of an state entirely depend upon the youth. It depends upon the youth. So what we have to do is we have to include the youth in the peace and the security agenda. We have to include them in the peace and security agenda, which is a key to building and sustaining progress. When you involve the youth in that process, you are building and you are sustaining process. You are building the society, you are building a system. At the same time, you are sustaining progress. That is why youth are very important for us. If properly harnessed, this powerhouse can set the society. See what they say. If the youth power is properly harnessed, if the youth power is properly used and utilized properly, they can bring the path of change because it is a driving force towards success. Youth power is a driving force towards success. That is very important for us. I want to quote the ex-president of America, United States of America, Franklin D. Roosevelt. He says, we cannot always build the future for the youth. We cannot always build the future for youth, but we can build the youth for the future. See how wonderfully he analyzes the youth power. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು. ಕುವೆಂಪುರವರು ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಕುವೆಂಪುರವರು ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನ ಭತ್ತ ತುಂಬುವ ಬೋರಿಗಳನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡದೆ ಭತ್ತ ಬೆಳೆಯುವ ಫಲವತ್ತಾದ ಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. You have to make them a fertile land wherein you can grow the gold. You make them industrious. You make them entrepreneurs. You make them social reformers. You are going to build them the way you want. That is what Franklin D. Roosevelt says. Another scholarly authority, Friedrich Ebert, says, democracy needs democrats. What does it mean then? He is of the opinion that involving and promoting young people, see what he says, involving and promoting young people and younger professionals is our investment for the future. The future of the nation depends, in the beginning only I told it, the future of the nation depends on the youth. That is why he says you have to make investment in youth. Making investment in the youth in the sense you have to train them, you have to educate them, you have to make them to be prepared to face anything, you make them industrious. In simple terms, they have to be a powerhouse. The stability and sustainability of a state, the stability and sustainability of a state can only be ensured by engaging youth. You have to engage the youth and making them equal partners in design and development. When youth are the partners in design and development, that nation is going to achieve something important, something special, something commendable. We have to remember that. Then what is the role of youth in changing and bringing change in the society? Positive changes we are speaking about. The role of youth is simply to renew, refresh, and maintain. Three terms: to renew, to refresh, and to maintain. They have to renew. They have to renew and refresh the current status of our society. See here. They have to renew and refresh the current social status of our society I'm speaking of. What status is there? It may be of leaderships. There are certain leaders, good or bad, I'm not going to speak on that. They can renew and refresh these leaders. They can renew and refresh innovations and skills. There is a beautiful saying, if you won't skill the youth, you will kill the nation. That is what you have to maintain in them. You have to maintain these things. If you don't skill them, you will kill the nation. These youth of whom we are speaking now, are expected to advance the current technology. We are living in a technology age. They have to advance the technology. They have to advance the education. They have to advance the politics, peace, and peace in the country. Technological advancement, education. Say, morning in the morning, Dr. Patakundi sir, with due respect, I have to say, Dr. Patakundi sir was highlighting how COVID-19, or what Trump says, the president of America, Trump says, China virus has affected. He was highlighting the things on which the youth are affected, the higher education is affected. And in the second session, my friend Dr. Madhuri Hebbalkar was analyzing how you to use the technology, in what way technology is going to benefit us, in what way we can make employability to educate technology. She was speaking to that. At the same time, the youth has to advance the politics, in the sense they have to change the political scenario, they have to change the political system. I'm not speaking of changing the constitution. The present scenario, the present system is to be changed. The political scene is to be changed. And they're responsible for bringing peace in the country. That is very important. So morning, I think Dr. Patakundi sir shared certain things which they are in my slide. I don't want to repeat them. One thing I want to tell here, we have 60.53 colleges in rural area. We have 60.53 colleges in rural area, and we have 11.04% colleges exclusively for women. That is very important. Then 35.9% arts colleges are there, 16.5% science colleges are there, 13.5% engineering and technical colleges are there, and 14.1% commerce colleges are there in India. But what is the number of teachers then? That is very important, because these are the mentors. When we speak of youth, when we speak of youth power, there is to be somebody who is to be a mentor. The number of mentors in India is 14,66,299. 14,16,299 mentors are there. If the youth are used properly, if the youth are cared properly by the mentors, duly supported by the parents, that is very important. We are there to guide them, we are there to mold them, but we need the support from their parents. Along with the parents, the system and the society has to support. Then the youth power is going to be really a national power. That's, I think other data sir has covered, so I don't want to repeat those things. I'm the student of political science. I'm the student of Indian Constitution. So now I'm relating my speech, I'm relating my views to the Constitution of India. How the Constitution of India, the political system of India, is going to help the youth power to become the warriors. First of all, we shall look from a constitutional perspective. We being the students of political science and constitution, we know that the third chapter of the Indian Constitution, from Article 12 to 35, deals with fundamental rights. These fundamental rights give freedom, liberty, power, and all that the youth need. Not only youth, every Indian. But I am concentrating on youth. So these are given to the youth. At the same time, the UN Charter has granted human rights to all the human beings. Irrespective of their country, irrespective of their nationality, all the human beings are granted human rights by the UN Charter. But one thing we have to remember, the Constitution of India, along with the fundamental rights in third chapter, it has assigned or imposed 11 duties on us. Under Article 51A of the Indian Constitution, the Constitution of India has imposed 11 duties on us. My friends, we have to be duty conscious, we have to be responsible citizens, we have to be accountable. Then only we can think of building a strong and stable political and social system, a sustainable economic system in our country. That is why we have to be duty conscious than of rights. When you are duty conscious, naturally rights will follow. But the tragedy with the present system is we are concentrating on rights. All the times we are speaking of rights. All the times we are speaking about our rights. I can do this. The constitution has permitted me to do it. Dr. Ambedkar, the father of our constitution, the architect, the Indian political system, the Indian polity, has given rights, but along with that, has assigned certain duties to us. My friends, when we perform our duties promptly and sincerely, when we develop the concept of belongingness towards the nation, that this, I belong to this country, I have to do something for this country. There are certain things which the constitution, the system expects from me. When I'm doing that, at that time, I have every right to claim my rights. But my friends, don't claim only rights. Think of duties also, that is very important. Then, in the constitutional perspective, when we look at the preamble, I have taken rights earlier because we are more conscious about rights. That is why I've taken rights first in constitutional perspective. I'm coming to the preamble later. I have to come to the preamble first, being the student of political science. But in this context, for me, rights are first, then I'm coming to the preamble. The preamble, in the preamble, what do we say? The preamble, in the preamble, we speak of justice, we speak of liberty, we speak of equality, we speak of fraternity. When we speak of justice, we have to speak of social justice, economic justice, political justice. Not only that, being a youth warrior, I have to see that every Indian is enjoying that. Then when it comes to liberty, remember, liberty doesn't mean license. The freedom of speech is misused by many people. ನನಗೆ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯ ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ಟೀಕೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ನಾನು ಸರ್ಕಾರವನ್ನ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನ ಟೀಕಿಸಬಹುದು. Sorry, my friends, don't be that conscious all the time. You have freedom of expression and thoughts. You have freedom of belief, faith, and worship. You enjoy it. But remember, you have to create an awareness in the society that your liberty is not affecting, disturbing, or destroying the liberty of others or the liberty of the society. Then equality. We are speaking of equality of status and opportunity. It's very important. So I'm not going to cover it at length because we are having a shortage of time. We know that. Now I'm coming to the main thing. Youth as warriors. What youth can do as warriors? For me, there are 4 to 5 aspects wherein the youth can be a warrior, wherein youth can change the system. The first one is sensitization. The second one is creating awareness. The third one is the preventive measures. The fourth one is accountable and responsible citizen. And the last one is respecting the farmers, the soldiers, the parents, women, and elderly people in the. Then what is sensitization? What do you mean by sensitization then? We speak of Youth Red Cross, we speak of NSS, we speak of NCC, Scouts and Guides. when I was discussing with our coordinator, Dr. Sagar, the organizing committee coordinator, he informed me that the Youth Red Cross members of your institute have worked as warriors. It is wonderful, a really commendable job. The youngsters have done a wonderful job. I appreciate. Hats off to them. Hats off to them. No problem. But these volunteers, it may be Youth Red Cross, it may be NSS, it may be NCC, or it may be Scouts and Guides. These youth have to be individual warriors. Then what is that individual warriors? My friends, we are living in a particular locality. We are living in a particular locality wherein our neighbors are there. We have to inform the neighbors regarding certain things. What are the certain things? It may be COVID-19. It may be the facilities of the government. We have to inform them. We have to educate them. We have to build confidence in them. That is very important. That is it. Just your neighbor, your right neighbor, your left neighbor. If one volunteer educates, informs, and build confidence in two neighbors, the left side and right side, naturally the social system is going to be strong. Remember that. Sensitization is very, very important for building a strong social system. Then second aspect wherein I'm going to speak of is creating awareness. What is that creating awareness then? We have to make the people mentally strong. If you have positive mental attitude, if you create a positive mental attitude, there is no need of any medicine. Youth can make it. Youth can create that type of atmosphere in the society. Youth can create that type of condition or situation in their locality. When you're making them mentally strong, make some demonstrations to them rather than advising. Make them some demonstrations. For example, the Tamil Nadu police, they were making some demonstrations on the street, how to clean the hands like this, like this, like this, like this, all these things. When you demonstrate, that is more effective. So be a demonstrator here. Be a demonstrator here. Then in creating awareness, the youth have a very important role to play. That is, you have to create awareness about government policies and programs, the benefits that an individual can get, what do you call the beneficiaries. You have to create legal and constitutional awareness among the general masses. What type of awareness you can create then? Just I want to quote one thing here under Article 21. Under Article 21, there are certain Supreme Court judgments. I'm not going to speak all of them, just I'll quote one here. Article 21, when we speak in the class, we say that no one shall be deprived of his personal life and liberty. But my friends, under Article 21, we have n number of rights, we are not highlighting them. How many of us know that when an emergency case is taken to the hospital, there is no need to make immediate case paper. Say, for example, it is an accident case or a suicide attempt or a murder, whatever it may be. An emergency case, when you take the patient to the hospital, there is no need to make case paper first. Deposit the money, then report to the police station, then get the report from the police. If the police permit, then start the treatment. It's not the case today. Under Article 21, when the patient is admitted to the hospital, immediately the treatment should start because the life is important. It is related to human rights also here. You have to create that awareness also here. Immediately the treatment should start. Then the procedure, that is making a case paper, depositing the amount, informing the police, all these things should follow later. That type of legal and constitutional awareness, that type of awareness among the general masses is to be created by the youth. Only you can do it. I can't in the sense the people believe you. You are in the society. You are among the general masses. You are in the rural area. You are mixing with your friends and with your locality regularly. If you create that awareness, that is very important for us. Then you have to create awareness about evil effects of tobacco, drugs, drinks. My friends, under Article 47 of the Indian Constitution, in Directive Principles of State Policy, we clearly find that intoxicating drinks and drugs are to be prohibited except for medical purpose. But what is taking place? What is taking place? Drinks, government-sponsored drinks or intoxicating drink shops, we are not sure. Somebody, sorry to share with you, somebody the other day said that the drinkers are to be referred as economic warriors. During COVID, the economy of the state was very weak. When we opened this to it, they have contributed to strengthen the economic condition of the state. They are described as economic warriors. What is this? What a sorry state of affairs there, my friends. I'm sorry to say. Then you have to create awareness about health, hygiene, environment, and water. See, we are reading of within 2 years, one of the major cities of South Africa, if I'm right, Durban, is going to be waterless. They have to fight for water. There will be no water. The same may be the case of Bangalore within few years. So for that, you have to create awareness. We are speaking of this COVID-19. We are speaking of China virus. Who is responsible for that? I'm not going to discuss about the legal aspects or other aspects of that. Just I'm speaking of the aspect that here the nature has attacked us. We have attacked the nature for these long years. It may be tree cutting, it may be afforestation, it may be anything like that. It may be establishing industries, using polyester, polluting the water, polluting the air. Madam was speaking of that, how COVID has helped in a positive way to purify the environment. We are responsible for environmental pollution. On account of that, one of the fundamental duty clearly say that we have to protect and preserve our environment. One of the fundamental duties is there. It asks us to preserve and protect. But we are establishing industries on unwanted places. We're using plastic. See, the government of India is asking not to spit in public places. See how a warrior can build a state. I'll give an example over here. My friends from Belgaum had been to New Zealand for a tour. There were 8 pairs. All of them were senior citizens. All of them were senior citizens. They were on the move. They were walking on the footpath. One of the gentlemen spit on the road. Spit on the road itself. As we do in India. We spit with gutka, tobacco, and other things. I'm not. Generally, just general spit was there on the road. When these 16 people, 8 pairs reached the next circle, the New Zealand police came over there and caught hold of him and asked him, you spit on the road there. For that, you are going to be penalized with $30. All these 16 were shocked. They asked him, how come you came to know these things that I spit over there? ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉಗುಳಿದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ನಿನಗೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಉಗುಳಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ $30 ದಂಡ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಾರಿಯರ್ ಯಾರು? A New Zealand citizen reported the authorities saying that a foreigner on the moon, on this road, wearing check shirt, wearing these shoes of this physical structure has spit on the road. $30 penalty was there. That type of warrior you have to become. Then only you are going to build a strong and stable system, my friends. You have to do that. Then health and hygiene is very important for us now. I think Madam was speaking in the morning. I don't want to repeat it. I was listening to her regarding health, regarding hygiene, regarding cleanliness. She was speaking of these things. So we have to follow that. Being a warrior, we have to create awareness among the general masses regarding health and hygiene. Under Swachh Bharata, toilets are constructed in rural India, but they are used as godowns. My friends, you being the young warriors, you have to create an awareness among the general people that these things should not take place. That is to be used for the purpose for what it has been constructed. That is very important for us. The next role of youth as a warrior is preventive measures. In it, the most important or the need of the hour, I have to say, is preventing the circulation of false messages on social media. The youth have to play a vital role here. The other day, I was Manivannan, Dr. Manivannan, IAS officer, Colonel Manivannan, we call him, the IAS officer, has established an organization called Sahaya, wherein around 600 volunteers are working with him. In that, he says, he writes something like this. There was a false message on the social media saying that the health minister of government of Karnataka has said that Gomutra and Goma Shagani Mattu Mutra. Govina Mutra Mattu Shagani. The urine and dung of cow can be used as sanitizer. Who is going to believe it? But it was circulated. When these things are circulated, you have to prevent it. There were certain things, this happened, that happened. They create social imbalance. Social disturbance takes place on account of that. Anti-social elements make best use of that. If social disturbance starts, it's very difficult to re-establish law and order in the state. That is why youth have to play an important role in preventing the circulation of false messages, wrong messages, what do you call that, misinformative things in the social media. Apart from that, you can prevent anti-social activities in your area. Many anti-social activities take place in your area. You can prevent them if you take a bold decision. You need not be a front warrior here. Just report the authorities. There are many means of reporting it. Your names will be kept secret. Use that. It may be corruption, it may be social disturbance, it may be kidnapping, it may be crimes, anything like that. The most important role you have to play in preventive measures, according to me, is communal and racial disturbance. Plato once said, religion is opium of life. It spoils the system. He says it spoils the system. India is a country wherein we have, according to Dr. M.N. Srinivasa, 2,700 plus castes and subcastes. So this communal and racial disturbance, if it takes place based on religion or anything that, we have witnessed the serious things in the past. So I request my young friends, the youth, to play a vital role to prevent these communal and racial disturbances. then you have to be accountable and responsible. Here, just I want to speak 2-3 things. I have spoken about rights. I have spoken about duties. You have to be duty bound. Then I'm coming to once again fundamental duties, wherein you have to preserve and protect the property of the nation. It may be culture, it may be heritage, it may be environment, it may be forest, it may be water resources. You have to preserve and protect them. That role you have to play. That awareness. Then one more important thing, follow the law. How many of the youth are using helmets when riding two-wheelers? How many of you are having license? How many of you are having emission certificates? How many of you are having insurance to your vehicle? How many of you have renewed the registration of your vehicle? Simple things. Simple things. Laws are there for us. If we follow the law, we can ask others to follow the law. If everybody follow the law, there won't be any social disturbance. There won't be any crime. There won't be anything like that. So my friends, following laws, what do you call rule of law? Law should rule the state. Rule of law is to be there. That is very important. I think I'm coming to the last aspect. It's already, the time is running out. I'm coming to the last aspect. That is respecting the farmers, soldiers, parents, women, and elders. Farmer is the one who is feeding us. We have to respect him. I was reading a joke the other day. When we were primary school students, we used to sing a rhyme. Huyo, huyo, maleraya. Huyo, huyo, maleraya. But today, rain, rain, go away. The children are thinking that rain is creating a lot of disturbance. Not only floods, I'm speaking, the chicle and other things. The dirty roads, their wet clothes, their hairstyle will be disturbed. Their wonderful dresses are to be damaged. Their vehicle will be dirty. All those things. But remember, if there is no rain, there is no grain. If there is no rain, there is no grain. So we have to respect the farmers. We have to create that awareness among them. Then the soldier, on account of him, we are here, we are safe. I'm interacting with you. I'm exchanging my views with you. You have to respect them. That moral attitude we have to have. Then parents, they introduced us to this world. They brought us to this world. We have to respect. If my parents were not in a position to educate me, I would not have been here. You would not have seen me. So it is my duty to respect my parents. Lastly, elders. There are two more. I think I spoke of farmers, soldiers, parents, elders, women. Yes, elders. They have better and better experience. You respect them, you interact with them, you will get certain experiences, you learn certain things from them, you have to respect them, you have to learn from them. That is very important. Lastly, women is to be respected. Respecting women is very important. This is my presentation. My friends, what type of warriors I need? Just I want to share one story. All of you know it, but I'm speaking it from my angle. Ratan Tata had been to Germany with his team. He has shared it on his Twitter handle. You might have read it, you might have gone through it. Ratan Tata had been to Germany. The team goes to the hotel, a restaurant, orders food. After they finish their dinner or lunch, some food was remaining. They left it in the plate and they went to pay the bill. The waiter of that hotel approaches the team and asks them to finish that food. One of the gentlemen from the team says, "We have paid for that. We have paid for that." Do you know what was the response of the waiter? I'm speaking of a waiter. I'm not speaking of youth. I'm not speaking of educated man. I'm not speaking of an officer. I'm not speaking of a politician or leader. A warrior in Germany, I will have to call him a warrior. A warrior in Germany says, "You have paid for it. Money belongs to you. But resources belong to our nation. You have misused, damaged our resource." Immediately, social volunteers approaches them and they have to pay penalty. That is the system that is prevailing in other countries. Why not? It is not possible in India. If the youngsters, whom just in the beginning I told the future of the country, if the youngsters are prepared well, if the youngsters are conscious, if the youngsters are committed, no doubt, we are going to establish a strong and stable, not only political system, but social and economic system. Lastly, my friends, being a warrior, being a youth as warrior, you have to see that the government benefits, the government schemes, the government plans reach the needy one gets the benefited by the government schemes, not the greedy. If the greedy gets it, don't bother about it. We are not bothered about it. Let him enjoy it. But my role as a warrior is to see that the needy is getting it. Whom it should go, it should reach them. That role we have to play. By that, we can establish a healthy, happy, prosperous, sustainable socio-economic and political system in the country. I think I made my point. I'm very much thankful for the organizers, especially Dr. Kodati, the principal of the college, Dr. Sagar, the head of the department of political science department of the college, all the esteemed members of the college. It's a wonderful college. I visited that college thrice, I think. You have some good practices. Once again, it is one of the wonderful practices you have established, wherein you are taken up institutional social responsibility, which is a very important part of NAC process. The institutional social responsibility, you're addressing it through the webinar. My friends, Team Ramdurg have done a wonderful work. Hats off to you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for our online hearing. Thank you, my friends.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. And we have highlighted what is the responsibility of the youths who are working as warriors in the interest of the people in the society at large. I, on behalf of the Board of Management and staff and students and the organizers, extend sincere gratitude for your beautiful presentation. Here is a question to Professor B.G. Patil, sir. Dr. Lakshmi Malik, I don't know the location where she's talking, answering, questioning this. But her question is, during COVID-19 horrible situation, there were many cases which were approaching to the hospitals to get to the treatment. Many patients or many relatives visited the hospitals, but there was a very poor response from the concerned doctors or the nurses, and they were left in a very complicated situations. As a matter of right, that the citizens are, or the people who are really suffering in this situation, say they were left in a helplessness condition. That Dr. Lakshmi Malik expects the answer to her question. What do you say about this situation?
Namaste, madam. We look from one angle. We being teachers, we have to look from another angle also. What is the condition of the health warriors? They are working 24/7. They were attending the cases on priority. It doesn't mean that they have neglected the duty. Some might have. I accept it. I've seen it on the social media. I've seen it on the new print media also, and electronic media also. But one thing we have to remember, they are also human beings. Madam, I take one patient, I'm worried, I'm concerned about my patient. But we being the citizens, we have to think of the condition of the health workers also, health warriors also. It may be doctor or it may be the nurses. See, I think you have seen one video clipping from Balgam. The mother was there in the hospital for 7 days. 24/7, she has to work for 1 week continuously in the hospital. A 4-year baby was brought to the hospital just to see the mother. When the baby saw the mother, you might have seen the way it was crying. For 7 days, she was unable to meet her baby. What would have been her health condition, mental health condition I'm speaking. We speak of our rights, oh, I accept it. But sometimes in the beginning only I told all the time, don't speak of rights, speak of duties also. I think, I don't know, justice to her question. Sir. Hello. Any more questions? If you have any questions, please